Hi there, beer fans. Stouts and porters. I'm not even slightly bright enough to explain the difference between them. I think really big, long theses have probably been written on the difference between a stout and a porter. I personally just know I love them, and I also know that over the centuries they've had a very, very intertwining history. As an example of that, Guinness Extra Stout, so the normal Guinness, was originally called Extra Superior Porter, but it changed its name to Extra Stout in 1840. Stouts were just called stout because they were strong, powerful, they were stout, and that's really where the name stout came from. So you could have, back in the day, a stout porter. It was very acceptable to have things like that. And over the years, they're kind of very, very similar, brewed in similar ways. They moved away until the 70s when they started to come back into fashion. They dropped out of fashion, I think, in the Second World War, and then they came back into fashion, and they've probably been really, really closely aligned now, more closely aligned than they probably have ever been. Hi, I'm Andy, and this is Andy's Beer Reviews. Today, we are looking at a porter. We are looking at this. This is the Old Moor Porter from Acorn Brewery, 4.4%. Acorn's a great little brewery from Barnsley in Yorkshire. And they do some really, really lovely beers. I've had this a while ago. I haven't had this porter from them for a while, but I know I've enjoyed it before, so I'll be interested to see if I still enjoy it. Let's pour it, see what it's like. They class this as a Victorian style porter. Now, from my perspective, Victorian style porter tends to have a little bit less alcohol than a normal porter. So this is 4.4%, which is relatively weak for a porter. And it tends to be sweeter, a little bit more caramelly, chewy caramel flavours, I think, as the so-called beer experts call it. So that's what we're expecting from this. So 4.4%, this will be quite sessionable as well, which for a porter is quite unknown. Right, it has poured very, very dark brown. I think I would class that as. It looks almost black, but I think it's actually very dark brown. With I think it originally poured with a one finger tan head. I see a tiny little bit of carbonation going on there, but not a great deal. Get nose in there and see what it's like. Getting that traditional, almost like a burnt toffee aroma. Some mild coffee in there as well. It's traditional, it's like a porter. You get the smokiness in there, and get a little bit of nuttiness from that as well. So it's those traditional, like almost like burnt toffees, burnt toffee flavour, that coffee flavour. It's quite a mild coffee flavour, coffee aroma, and almost smoky as well, as if it's all been smoked. Yeah, there's a little bit of nuttiness in there as well. Let's taste it, see what it's like. Cheers, everybody. That's nice. You've got the second little swig just to make sure. That's nice. You've got it doesn't taste strong, and it's only 4.4%. And I think there's going to be a lot of real big fans of porters that probably don't like it because it doesn't have that strength that a traditional porter has. It has got those flavours of sweet caramel. It has got a roasty, malty flavour. There is a hint of chocolate in there as well. Very mild, but there's some chocolate in there, and just tiny little bit at the back. Just starting to get a little bit of licorice through as well. It's sweet. I think there is a bit of bitterness going through, and it's spot on for that. I don't think that bitterness is going to linger as well. It's as soon as it hits the mouth, not as soon as it smells, but it hits the mouth that it starts to dissipate. And I think after you've drunk a bottle of this, I think if you want to go on to another beer, then I don't think the flavour of this would last. So you can taste then the flavour of the next beer, which I think is quite nice. It's a tasty sessionable porter. I've never had a sessionable porter before, but that's quite nice. It's got all the flavours in there. It's just a milder version of it. It is light, but I wouldn't necessarily call it thin because the flavours are in there. It's nice that burnt flavours rising in the mouth, the bitterness is rising, licorice is rising. Back of my throat, I am getting that burnt, not burnt, the roasted malts flavour sticking to the back of my throat. Acorn Brewery, that's quite nice that. I'm going to score that 8 out of 10. Cheers everybody.